Well, good morning, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I am here, of course, in the Red Brick House, and we're getting closer to spring. You know, you're getting closer to spring because we had like a really bad thunderstorm last week, and we're headed for supposedly some severe thunderstorms and tornadoes. And I hope that nobody gets hurt out there, that this is getting crazy. But I love it because I'm beginning to hear the birds. They're building bird nests and stuff and things out. And you can feel the weather is beginning to change, and I'm going to be doing some gardening. In fact, I'm going to go to the hardware store and get some stuff right now and a few. Anyway, thinking about the Dallas Cowboys, which let's face it, I'm always thinking and talking about the Dallas Cowboys. I am obsessed with those mother humpers. And, you know, I hear you guys, you know, what is your problem? Are you crazy or what? Maybe I am. Be that as it may, the Cowboys are whatever. And we are tied into them. We're hooked into them. We fall in love with them and everything else. All right. That's a known quantity. So knowing this, knowing that we are obsessed with the Cowboys, and knowing what we've been hearing the last few days. Now, it's kind of crazy that it hasn't even been a week yet that we are into the league year just beginning. It's crazy, in fact, because I need to cover my solar stove here, because we've gotten so much damn drama going on with the dlaw situation, with DeMarcus Lawrence kind of throwing shade on the Cowboys. That's kind of ugly. And listening to, of course, Micah responding, it makes you wonder, how long has this been going on as far as the locker room? We know that the Cowboys are the most dysfunctional team. You know, if you want drama, you know, if you want that, the Cowboys have plenty of that for you. They will be, you know, talked about everything but winning. And that's the truth, sadly. And the question now becomes is there more of this brewing underneath? Because this is the problem. Okay, so now we know that definitely dlaw was the de facto leader. dlaw, of course, goes. Now, he's gone. We know that Malik Hooker kind of said the same thing about Micah Parsons, right? That Micah Parsons, you know, he's got his podcast and things like that. I'm going to be real with you. I have to say that when Micah Parsons is pass rushing, okay, and he's going against a guy who's 320 pounds, and he's trying to make a move on him to get to the quarterback, I don't really think that the podcast, that if he had not done his podcast on Tuesday, it would make him a more effective pass rusher. I don't think that that's going to be the case. I don't honestly think that that's holding him back. Now, maybe when you look at it and think about this, did Deion Sanders playing baseball at the same time, did that hurt his play? Because I can understand if you made the comparison and said, well, Deion, you know, you're literally hopping on a helicopter and going to a baseball game from practice. I could say that might slow you down some at being great at those two things, because you're being physical playing baseball, even though it's not as physical as football, but, you know, swinging the bat and running the bases and things like that. I would say if you were looking at him to be a baseball player, that you'd say football definitely would slow him down as a baseball player. I could understand those things. But you could turn around and say, because it's not just podcasting. You could say doing broadcasting. You could say doing ads. You could say working in the community. These are all things that are distraction. You could say playing PlayStation. So how different is it if I'm playing PlayStation online in my off time that's holding me back. Sorry, that one doesn't hold water. What does hold water, though, is the perception of teammates that are thinking that you're not putting in your all. Now, I can't say that we've had guys like Rolando McClain. See, Rolando McClain was one of those athletes that was truly gifted, and it was a damn shame that he did not use all the tools available to him. That guy was one of the best pure thumping linebackers that I've ever seen. He had natural given ability to be able to play. But see, he didn't want to practice. He would end up basically staying in the weight room. I'm gonna hang out in the weight room. Chill. I'm not practicing. I would say a guy like David Irving, who had an attitude of, I'm better than 90% of the guys when I roll out of bed. And I'm just going to show up to play. I could say those kind of guys that are doing those kinds of things, that those are a distraction and those aren't team guys. But the guy who has busted his ass getting back from injury and come back like a man on fire, a guy who's had as many sacks last year in an injured season as Joey Bosa has had in the last 3 years, it's kind of hard to go ahead and side with everybody else. Because what the job of the coach and the organization is to get the most out of every single one of them, every player. And for DeMarcus Lawrence, in the same breath of, in the last 3 years, a guy who's gotten 12 sacks, been injured, it's hard to side with him to say Micah Parsons is the problem. But the real problem now is the Cowboys that are drama-filled. The Cowboys who everybody comes to basically pimp out and get better deals. If you want to get notoriety, all you got to do is attach Cowboys to it. Just say Cowboys. Cowboys, boom. All right, there we go. People going to be talking, right? That's the thing. All you have to do is say Dallas Cowboys, and people will pay attention. And if you want to get a better contract, just say the Cowboys. You know, the Cowboys are making moves. And it seems like everybody hates the Dallas Cowboys. Rich Eisen said, Dallas Cowboys versus everybody else. He was copying from somebody else, and maybe I'll get my wife to make me one of my shirts. See, I still love my Cowboys Mafia. She's good with this shit. But Cowboys versus everybody else is about right. And the thing about it is, we know that we've got everybody else coming against us. What we have to do, though, is we can't be fighting ourselves on top of it. We can't be crabs in a barrel. And if we can't do that, we're screwed. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You can just go ahead and say it now. We got no chance in hell. And the Cowboys are going to have to get that mentality that it is the Dallas Cowboys versus everybody else. But when you come into that locker room, we family. We may not all get along, but we are going to try and do something big. Now, I don't know how they fix this. Jordan Lewis, you know, I actually have to point from the top down because, see, Jordan Lewis looked at it like, I've been here as a team guy all these years towing the company line. A couple of years ago, y'all talked about wanting to get rid of me or not re-signing me when I was injured and stuff, but I've still been playing. So from that standpoint, I ain't taking any more discounts. It's how you treat guys. So when you get trashed, you basically say, screw those guys. I'm just here to get a check. So the Cowboys need to change that feeling from the top. Jerry said he only wants people who want to be wanted. Well, bro, that goes two ways. The players want to be wanted too. And when you go through and through the media, you trash people instead of trying to pay them when you should, instead using them in the media for more publicity and basically make them feel like, or basically tell them, you're not worth the money of the guy over there. You are creating an environment that is not about winning. If you really take what dlaw said and think about it, it wasn't directed at Micah, I don't believe. It was more directed at the Joneses. Micah stood up for the Joneses because he's the next man up to get paid. He's towing the company line. But the reality is when you do leave, when people leave the Cowboys and they start talking about their time and their situation there, and they look at it and they say, yeah, we're not winning a Super Bowl as we're currently constructed because of what they do. We shouldn't be mad at dlaw for putting out there what's really going on, because that's what's really going on. Drama. Anyway, I gotta go get some PVC pipe so I can start trying to figure out how to do my hydroponics. Yeah, hydroponic growing. We gonna grow some shit. Peace out.